Hey everyone, welcome to another fine episode of Who's That Anime? We're still watching the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and we're hosted by Steve and Colin.
That's me. Yep.
I'm
Hi,
getting
folks.
better. Getting back into the flow. Um,
It has uh, it has been a long journey to get here.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. So this episode we're talking about the Sigh of Haruhi Suzumiya, episodes 4 and 5, which is the last two episodes of season 2 in the broadcast order. Noted
Yep.
that we watched this in the broadcast order and not the chronological order, which makes this
Yep.
halfway through season 2.
Yes.
Um,
Oh no! Wait. No. No. Wait. Does it?
yeah, yeah, because it's 14 episodes in the first one, and then there's 14 episodes in the second one, and we're on
Colin, I
episode.
hate to tell you, but
Uh,
I. Uh. Hmm.
what?
Wait. What is this? Hang on. I need to check the orders again. Uh. Broadcast order. Okay. Yeah. Just double checking. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this would be. This is almost exactly where it would be. It's
What?
just 4 episodes. It's 4 episodes out.
It's 4 episodes out, yeah. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's almost exactly where it would be. It's not like it's a different season, like some of the stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, all the episodes after this are from season 1 in the broadcast order.
Yes.
Uh,
The season one was far more confusing in the broadcast order.
oh, yeah, it was all over the place. For example, like the titular saga, the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, in the broadcast order was split through an entire season um,
Yep.
of season 1. It ended
Yep.
on the last two episodes of it. Where if you watch in the chronological order, it's just 6 episodes, one after the other. And there's the start of the whole show as well. It's like the
Yep.
introduction of Haruhi Suzumiya, Kion, and all the usual suspects.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So here we are.
here we are. The last two episodes of season 2. Um, we're finished up last episode basically talking how they're making their movie for the arts festival or culture festival, whatever it is. Some festival, because Harry loves festivals.
Yep.
And if you don't go
Very
all
true.
in, there's no much point in having a festival. I believe was what she said in the first episode.
Hmm.
You gotta go all in, otherwise there's no point.
Yep. You got to get it. This is our only chance to do this as 10th graders. Yeah. No. I know that. It's how time works. Thank you.
It's a weird concept. It's the only time we can do it as 10th graders. What's so special about being 10th graders? And
So,
yeah,
well, next year we'll have to do it as 11th graders, and that's no use.
yeah. Plus, I'm sure she did that one, and when they did the was it the Rhapsody episode where they go back in time, and she's like,
Yeah,
I have to do this while I'm this age because it's the only
because
time I can do it. Or something. I'm sure she said something along those lines. Anyway,
she's always full of such wisdom.
yeah. So far we talked about the first 3 episodes in the saga, and Huri's been fairly more abusive to Mikuru than normal. Uh, Kion's been more obtuse than normal. Obtuse?
Yep. Well,
Uh,
I'd say more difficult.
Difficult, yeah, than normal. And it's all about to get to head.
Hmm. It
So,
starts, if I remember rightly, we're just kind of like after the bit where Mikuru has started lasering shit all over the place.
mhm.
I think this is the scene where they've got their extras now who have been identified as what's her name? Is it Tsuruya?
um,
Uh,
crazy Miku's
and
friend.
then yeah, she's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ditzy
she's like
is
with her one little vampire fang.
yeah, Ditzy the way it was described by Keon.
Yeah, she's mental.
Yeah.
And then Taniguchi and Kunikida, who are the two. I want to say friends, but they're more just people that are there sometimes with Keon. I don't think he actually likes them.
He certainly gets upset with the guy. We forgot to mention that Tamagotchi is
That's his name. Go on.
Tam- Tamagotchi is basically being pestering to saying what you're doing for the festival. Like, come on, what you doing? I'm bored type thing. And then just
Yeah, because he's pissed off at the fact they're doing a survey. He thinks it's a waste of time as well,
yeah,
but doesn't want to do anything else. So
yeah, he's not well. I mean that's either is it the fifth episode that comes in that, or is that the
it is the fifth. Actually,
or the
that
end of
might
this one?
be
This episode.
in this one. But I think that's the thing is that that's kind of like the seed they sow throughout it is that Nanopet or whatever his name is, like, um,
That's
kind
not
of
even
is.
close. Looks like it was
Yeah, I know,
close.
but it's a type of Tamagotchi. I was trying to be funny. It was
I
pretty
know.
good. I
I
laughed.
know.
But it's I think it's like it's supposed to sow that seed of like how he's super against doing a thing but not willing to do anything himself. He's just like, trying to pry on what other people are doing. He's not like willing to make a go of doing anything about it. So
Yeah, he's Keon earlier in this episodes by basically saying, "Oh yeah, you're kind of goody two shoes. You'll just follow along like a kind of dog thing." And he's like, "Oh well, because you said that, I'm not going to give you any information. I know exactly what we're doing," type thing.
yeah.
Anyway, so they get called in to be extras into this.
And they're going to the it's like is it a lake? Like a poisoned lake,
I think it's
polluted lake.
like a reservoir or something. But they meet
Yeah,
up at the station as normal, and Mikuru doesn't turn up because she's got an upset stomach. So
that's right.
Haruhi, being even more abusive than normal, jumps into a taxi by knocking on the window, going, and he opens the door and then drives
Yeah.
off and brings her back.
It's properly amazing. It's like Crazy Taxi, sort of boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah,
let's go, fucking get me out of here.
yeah, and so they're waiting around and complaining that she's not about. Where's Mikuru? And her over
Where's
energetic.
my? I need my eye candy. I need my eye candy. I believe is what Digimon says.
Yeah, you're going through them all, aren't
We'll see where we get to.
you? Yeah. Pokedex is certainly.
Okay, that one caused a bit of a stitch. Hang on. Oh no, no, I'm having to stretch this one out. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Pokedex. Beautiful, beautiful. But
Yeah,
yeah, you're
well,
right. Like, they're all complaining about the fact that Mikuru's not there. That basically Haruhi drags her, drags her unwillingly. It's like you're fucking filming today.
yeah,
Come and do this shit.
yeah,
Um,
very
so they
much.
turn up at the lake or the what was it, reservoir? Sorry, you said.
I think, yeah, or I think it's
I think you're right. Actually, it probably is.
meant to be an old body of water where you're meant to, I don't know, for drinking eventually or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
drink it now, mind you.
no,
I
no,
suppose
it would,
that's the thing. Is like they get to the lake and it's basically all fenced off,
and it says
and
keep out.
the best part to this is obviously Mikuru is like, I'm not climbing over that because I'm wearing a very short dress, and then what's her name, Tsuruya, just start laughing like a lunatic.
Yeah,
She just flips out. It's like, yeah, okay.
yeah, she's yeah, just constantly like that, weirdly over energetic. I think the
Yeah,
best,
she's a proper lost cause.
yeah, the bit I liked about this bit is Nagito just goes, okay, fine, hang on, and just kind of like opens and then just like pries open the fence with one hand,
Yep.
and everyone goes, oh, that fence is really old, and then walks through it. And it's like,
It's that's the beauty of that scene is Kion's like, oh, thank God they're all stupid.
yeah, it's really
He's
old
like,
fence.
oh, yeah, thank God they're all clueless. Otherwise, that would have seemed really unusual.
Yeah. And at this point, I think uh, Mikuru goes to basically Keon and says, "Oh yeah, my eye's fine. I shouldn't be lasering you because
Because of the
Nagito's
nanomachines.
yeah, she's injected with uh, nanobots." Um,
Yep.
anyway, so they think that's fixed. So they start going there, and she's about to have a battle with her laser eyes and stuff like that. And
Yep.
next thing you know, Nagito tackles Mikuru again.
Yep. And a bit
As
of the fence falls off in the distance.
yeah, a fence clean and
Yep.
shaped falls off in distance, and everyone
Yeah.
just thinks once again it's an old fence.
What an old fence.
Yeah, that's
Man, this
luckily
place is falling apart.
yeah. Maybe we should be here.
It's incredible.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So this scene there, she's might be fighting Nagito again.
Yep.
And then Nagito casts a spell and makes all her friends attack Mikuru and throw her in the water. You know, there's
Yep.
it kind of annoying Keon a lot. Again, it's like you can't throw her in that. It's filthy. You can't be doing that. And then Mikuru like, I think Koizumi stops him from objecting.
I think he's about to, but I think Mikuru pipes up eventually and is like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'm sure Koizumi puts his hand on Keon's shoulder to say, no, we got to let this.
I mean, he probably does, but he doesn't need to protest too hard because she's already said she's going to do it. So
Yeah. Anyway, she does it, jumps in the water, and they didn't
they
bring a
bail her
towel.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't bring a towel, so she's going to freeze to death, basically.
Yeah. So then they go to Crazy Girl's house.
Oh, but they've basically. We should point out at this stage that Surya offers to take them back there because she lives nearby, and Kunikida and Monster Rancher go home.
Oh, do they go home at that point? Do they?
Yeah, I think it's like so. It's like you've been fired, basically.
Yeah, let go.
How do you like that pool, Monster Rancher? That was it's pretty good. Like I know it's not quite Digimon or this is alright.
It's getting there. You did Neopets already.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
What was the penguin one? What was that one called?
Club Penguin?
Club Penguin, yeah.
I don't know.
Shit, man, I remember. The only reason I remember that is because I watched some stupid YouTube short about the guy says like, I've been in a coma for like 5 years or something like that. And he wakes up last year, and he says like, so it's kind of weird coming back and like finding like, one, my Club Penguin account's closed because they disbanded the website. And then two, fucking the world's gone to shit in a pandemic. Something along those lines.
Imagine the first thing you're like, oh shit, Club Penguin.
Yeah.
Like that's where your life is at. That it's like, man, the first thing I was gonna do when I woke up from this coma was go check out Club Penguin.
Go kind of yeah. Well,
I remember that in Habbo Hotel was the other thing I always remember.
Habbo Hotel.
Yeah, Habbo Hotel. That was towards the end of my tenure as a teen on the internet.
You had internet when you were a teen.
Yeah, I had internet. I had internet since I was 12.
Yeah, I only got internet when I was 17, man. 17, 18, 19, 19.
You
Because,
got the internet about the same time as me then.
yeah, uh, going by age difference, yeah. It's
I
just the start of the millennium. Because I went to.
yeah, I got 28 kbps modem.
Oh, I think I had a 56.
We upgraded very quickly to 56 because my god, 28 kbps was exceptionally slow.
Well, it's half the speed of a 56, and 56 wasn't very fast compared
Yep,
to the.
it's half the speed of not fast.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then I remember my parents waiting until I left home to get broadband and being, "What the fuck, guys?"
No, I got my folks getting cable, half meg broadband connection.
Yep, I think that was pretty much the same as what my folks got as well. It was probably with BT or something.
No, this was with cable. This was like 512 kilobytes per second. I think didn't have any broadband connection at
Oh,
the time.
oh, okay. In
Uh,
between.
yeah, and then it slowly upgraded every so often, and now you got some stupid speeds off the cable broadband.
Yeah, I wish I had better, but it'll do.
Yeah, it worked out for me fine. That was the end of I was going towards the end of my uni years. Anyway, yeah, we're now
So
in
we're heading back to Surya's place.
yeah, which is a mansion. Essentially, just one of
Yep,
those classic Japanese mansion houses where everything's huge.
the big fuck off mansion.
Yeah. So they dry Mikuru off. She has a bath, and
Yep.
she gets drinks. Haruhi asks things to prepare some drinks for them, and essentially gets her to spike Mikuru's drink. That's like
This is
the worst moment ever.
super. It's. I have no words for this. Like it's just. I. I'm speechless. Like I. When it happened, and she's like, "Yeah, she doesn't seem so good," and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Did you spike her drink?" It's like that is mental.
Yeah, that's
That's proper psychopath territory.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's
hey, Surya, I just wanted to talk to you about a thing that we could maybe do. Like just put like a little bit of sake in her drink.
yeah,
Fucking nut job.
yeah. She went pretty crazy there, like, um, and once Keon found out about that, he was really pissed. In fact,
Yeah,
this is
as like the only one that had the reaction you fucking should have.
yeah, yeah. It should have went. I mean, the only one that didn't really have the same would probably have similar reaction would be Mikuru, but he was wasted, and then
Yep.
complained that she got wasted. That you got wasted
Yep.
too much. It's like what?
Yeah. Yeah, you got too drunk. How was I supposed to know that you would get so drunk off of one little bit of sake? It's like fucking no. You crazy?
Don't do that. uh,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, and basically Keon got so mad, and Harry basically doesn't take any ownership of it at all and thinks nothing wrong with it. And Keon's essentially going to smack her one, and Koizumi stops him,
It's it is mental.
and then Mikuri also kind of says, "Don't do it."
Yeah, before which is great. It's like don't do it because you know something
Classified.
will happen. Oh, it's classified, and then just passes.
Yeah, she does say it's classified.
Which is pretty funny, I must admit. But like, so I guess we'll move along because this kind of like that fucking ends it for the day. He's like fuck this, and Surya says she'll look after Mikuru. Obviously, Haruhi's like, well, if you're not gonna fucking listen to me, don't fucking be here.
Yeah,
So he's like, well, yeah, screw this
done.
noise, and yeah, he and Koizumi are heading away, and he's like, you're you didn't you're a lot less level-headed than I thought you'd be in that situation. He's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, still pissed off with it. Like, uh,
Yeah, but then of course, like this is the bit where I sort of get very angry with this show. um, because of course what happens is that Haruhi becomes depressed because of the sort of the falling out that they've had.
yeah,
Um, and the concern flips to her.
uh,
It's like, yeah, she's depressed, and like, you don't want that to happen because you know what happens when she's depressed. And and he's like, no, fuck that. Like, quite right, the right reaction. He's like, no, I don't care.
yeah,
But then of course he ends up in a conversation with Pocket Watch or whatever his name is,
uh,
and they're like saying, he's like, that film is a stupid idea. What a stupid film that is. And he's
yeah,
like, kind of going, oh no, hang on, like the film is like at least Haruhi's doing something. You're not doing anything. All
yeah.
you're doing is complaining. And he's like, oh my god, it's me. Which
So
is
yeah,
like, I think, a fine revelation, to be clear.
mhm.
I think that's an okay revelation. I don't like the next bit.
Yeah. Should also mention that Koizumi is also on the walk home. Also, kind of take him away. It's like, can I show you something? And they go to like the
Oh, that's right. The pigeons? Is it
go
the
to show the
pigeons?
pigeons. Yeah. So the pigeons
Yeah.
weren't white, and Harry asked, says, "Oh, we should go and get some white pigeons to fly up," type thing. And she scares.
Yeah.
Didn't mention that she shoots at the pigeons to scare them to like a fly
We
up
did
thing.
forget to mention that, yeah.
Yeah,
We mentioned the pigeons, but not that bit.
yeah, and they were just like you call them pigeons, I think. And
Yeah.
but she's wished them they were white, but they weren't at the time. But now they are, and no one's dyed the skin. And Keelan's like, yeah, and type thing, and it's like, well, she's has some influence on this world, like crazy influence at the moment, and what she's thinking in her real life, in with this movie is come to life type thing. Everything like the laser beam eye, the pigeons are turned white. Um, is there
Because
anything
before
else?
it was all grounded in reality. Like, I think
Yeah,
that's the thing. It was all ground. I think the weather, they talk about the weather being unseasonably warm, and I
yeah,
think that that's due to her influence and the desire to keep on filming. Um, but I think that they keep on sort of talking about the idea that typically her motivations of change are grounded in reality, but because she's getting so invested in the film, they're starting to manifest in more spectacular and abnormal ways,
yeah. As
um, which is actually kind of an interesting area to explore, I suppose. But you know,
it's kind of marred by uh,
yeah,
actions we've just talked about.
yeah, by her
Not
being super shitty.
yeah.
Um,
Does she not also have like have we done the security bit where they tried to film? She so haven't found an area where like cherry blossoms were in blossom, so you can
well, at the end of this episode, they go into Blossom.
do the. All right, so is that one?
They do, as a result of the conversation that's about to happen, like, because
Yeah,
she when yeah, because like Kyung gets like super pissed off at Timex, and just I'm drifting further and further away from his actual name. But he gets like super angry with him because of his remarks about how shitty their film was and how much of a stupid idea it was, and then starts getting really defensive over a thing he didn't think he cared about, but then
yeah,
realizes, of course, he's a little bit more frustrated at the fact that he sees a lot of himself in that attitude of that sort of you know I'm just here to shit on everything and complain and not actually provide any value.
yeah,
Which he then realizes he's like, you know what, I'm better than that. I can provide value.
yeah,
So he this is the bit I don't like, is he then goes to, in a way, apologize to the fucking psychopath abuser. And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, Haruhi, let's keep making this film and make it fucking cool. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I think she calmed down at that point.
Like, I mean, this is the thing is that my problem is mainly the fact that she is horrendously abusive to a degree that is beyond unacceptable. Like, I mean, people are cruel sometimes, and things get said and things happen, but there's not one apology. Like the attitude change, yeah. There's like there's an attitude change and things like that, and she becomes less controlling in that way. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough. I think you need to say that was I shouldn't have fucking done that.
Yeah.
I did it bad.
Maybe she's said it off camera and just cut that scene
I
out.
don't know. Just I kind of hate that at the very least you didn't get sort of her acceptance of,
That she's wrong.
oh, there's balance to this. Like it's, like, yes, she can actually kind of get whatever she wants, and that's not a problem. But it does just because she can get whatever she wants doesn't mean she's gonna like how she does that.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that there's that sort of the end is not justifying the means here. Like I don't like the fact that the people who I think are my friends hate me because I've been an abusive nut job. Um, maybe I should say sorry for that, and then we can move past it, and I try to be a better person. But that doesn't happen. We just move past it, and we're cool.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I'm not depressed anymore." And then, like I say, I think this is the bit where sort of like they pick filming back up again.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, the cherry blossoms," because I always wanted to be filming when the cherry blossoms were in full bloom, and of course it's out of season. So,
Yeah. Uh, and then they have a scene where she wants to get a cat for Nagito. She's like, Nagito needs a
oh
cat.
god. And the thing is, I remembered because we've of course watched the movie episode of this,
Mhm.
and it's like, that's the talking cat.
Yeah.
That's the cat that talks. And then we had this discussion about, did that cat talk? And it's like, I think so. It's like, but it was like movie magic. It's not an actual talking cat. It's like, probably.
Yeah. No. Well, she finds a cat and then she's like, I want a talking cat. And she just also states she wants a black cat,
Yeah,
but she
but it's
couldn't
not
find it.
black.
Yeah. And so happens Nagito knows where there are a bunch of stray cats hanging out, which is behind her apartment.
That's
And
right.
then,
I love the fact
yeah,
that she knows. It's like, yeah, we need to find some stray cats. Like, I know where there might be some.
yeah.
Great.
And then, yeah, so they go and get the cat and go, hey, yeah, this is the cat. Shinago or whatever it's called, or something like that. Shanae.
Shimigi Shamison.
Shamison. Samson.
Yeah, a male calico.
Yeah. Oh, that's a male calico. Which is,
Yep.
and then she goes, oh, I wish it's talking. And then she leaves for some reason. And then
She
it's like,
does.
yeah. Oh well, I'll go to look after you. I'm going to get you some uh, food, cat. And the cat goes, yeah, I'm not bothered. Just
You
anything
go,
will do me.
hey, how you doing? I'm
Yeah,
a cat.
yeah. It just starts talking, and everyone just kind of looks at him and goes, "What are you talking?" And it's like, well, I might just make noise that sounds like I'm talking.
Yeah,
You can't
it
really
gets
tell.
super philosophical. Where
Yeah,
it's like, oh, maybe, yeah. It's like, maybe I'm talking, and maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just making noises, and for some reason they sound like noises to you. But he's like, but you're answering my questions. He's like, yeah, maybe.
yeah, maybe, yeah. Anyway, and quite it's like, can you believe this guy's me type thing that they say to him? And it's like, yeah, I know, it's this rare cat breed. And it's like, no, no, not that.
The cat, for the love of God, man, the cat is talking. Can we acknowledge this, please?
Yeah. Oh, um,
It's
so
very weird.
it's very weird. So they just go like, okay, cat's talking, she's getting a bit out of control, and then it goes a bit off to the side with what's going down in this subject, where Koizumi's like saying things to um, Kion about how Haruhi is a god and she's influencing the world type thing, and then
Yeah.
Mikuru comes in and goes, "I don't agree with Koizumi and his views. I don't think it's that.
Yep.
I think the world has always kind of been like this. It's just so happens it's happening and we're noticing it or something. It's her
I
views.
think it's weird because she although she then sort of takes it back, she says just like you shouldn't trust someone like Koizumi.
Yeah.
Um, and it seems deliberately pointed at Espers, I think, in general, in her being a time traveler. I suppose that's her group, and the disagreements they have in principle.
Mm. Yeah, it's
Because I think they also get into the idea that Yuki has different. I think are we into episode 5 now? Actually, we might have slipped into episode 5.
no, I think this is still four. I still think they're talking about this in four.
Okay, I can't remember where this starts and finishes, so I
I
should really write these
maybe
down sometime.
yeah, maybe I should do the same. Maybe it is five. Maybe it is because I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I think it is taken away at that point. She states that she shouldn't believe what Koizumi thinks, and then Keon talks to Nagato because Nagato is like, yeah, they're both kind of not telling the truth but telling the truth type thing. I may not be telling the truth type thing. So Frieza's like as about as helpful as normal type
Yeah,
thing. Um,
I mean, I suppose we should probably score episode 4 then while we're here.
yeah, I think that's pretty much it. In episode four, anything else? Talking cat, take it home and tell us. Oh yeah,
Oh, make it do tricks. Make it do tricks.
yeah,
At least 2 tricks by tomorrow.
in a night, yeah. Jumping through a hoop of fire.
Yeah, something simple like
Y-
jumping through a ring of fire. Yeah.
Yes, and then it talks, so it's quite easily maybe they have trained it. But it's the walk home where it's like I'm taking you home, cat, and I want to feed you type thing, but you're not allowed to talk in my house. It's like, oh okay,
Meow.
just say meow, and it's like meow. So then his sister
Meow.
his sister's petting it, and I think he just goes, yeah, oh, yeah, or something like that. I mean,
I think it's more of meow.
yeah,
It is awkward. It's
yeah,
an awkward meow.
meow, yeah. And then he lets it go in the rain or something. It's like, there you go, cat. You can
Yeah.
get go now.
He goes, all right.
All right,
I'll see you later.
there. Yeah,
It's a weird bit of that show.
yeah.
Um,
It gets this. These ones get pretty weird. Yeah. So episode that's pretty much the end of episode four. I think. We're kind of not been paying attention. I think Endless Eight broke our feel of
yeah, our
episodes.
continuity is gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all melting into one mess. Um, yeah, episode four. So yeah, the drugging. That's pretty bad.
I,
Um,
I
the crazy talking cat leveled out maybe a bit.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
The talking cat was certainly a good quality part. Um, launching bit of conspiracy theory in the middle of it all, maybe. If that's not episode five, might be episode five. But it raises questions very late on
Yeah,
in the series, and it's like, what?
yeah. It had a lot of questions that will never be answered, presumably. So,
Yeah. Um. Anyway, I don't know.
how do you rate it?
I'm gonna go with four. I think mainly just because the flazy of Oh, I drugged my friend to make her more not tell her.
Yeah, I'm very much with you on that one.
It's
I am a four on that one. I like as a plot device, okay, like as a shock, absolutely, but I think to have it resolve the way it does is just not
not
it's just
so.
not good.
Yeah,
Like it's just broken.
yeah,
Like I want like I appreciate that because I think the thing that's more annoying is I would totally get it if nothing changed. Like if nothing changes after that, it's just a cycle. The people are broken and the cycle continues. What is more frustrating is that there's a clear delineation of it's like that's wrong.
mm.
That's wrong, and you cannot do that. You need to change. And instead of acknowledging any change, actually he's just like, it's me.
I totally agree. I think he just wanted to finish the film to prove some point to Club Penguin. Never actually used that name on him.
I think it's just I think it's infuriating. Like I say, is I think I wouldn't like it, but the idea that nothing changed, I think would be more acceptable. But I think that the if you are going for the idea of like some form of redemption for a character and some form of forgiveness and apologeticness, apology rather, and just but it doesn't do that. It's not even a halfway house.
Yeah,
It's achieving something by saying it's doing it and not actually doing it, and that kind of frustrates me. It would have been much more acceptable for it just be like, I can't fix this situation. Like, I need to go back, and I appreciate that. I don't like the things that uh, wrote on Pokedex says, uh, but I those things that he says, I see in myself, and I don't like that. But I don't think that's any reason for me to go. Let's fucking go and do this. It's more of a just like let's just get on with it. Like that we're in a bad situation here where like I he's like, yeah, I'm the one that's complaining. He's like, he can still take ownership over what he complains about, but there are things that he's complaining about that are legitimate problems.
yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Uh,
So yeah,
it's it's pretty rough in that for that one scene.
it it's sort of like not
Also,
to dwell.
should
Sorry,
al-
go on.
should also point out in that whole scene is to listen her up for a romantic kiss
A
scene.
love scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
which is yeah that. Sorry, we sort of jumped past that. That makes it in my mind infinitely worse.
yeah, yeah. That's the
She's like, look, it's like, what's wrong with her? She's not, she doesn't sound right. And it's like, no, she's fine. She's sexier than ever. And it's like, oh my god, what's wrong with you?
and to be honest, even Koizumi isn't happy with it. Even he kind of stops
He's,
eventually.
I think that probably shows you like as a guy who sort of just goes with the flow of everything. Like
Mm.
because as he said many a times, like imagine what will happen if we allow that, if we do, if we rail against that and like change that. It's like, wouldn't it be better for Miss Suzumiya to be happy? And you're like, oh, fine, fucking go with the flow. But he even's like, I nah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like, yeah, if the guy who's like just on board with everything is not okay with this, then you've crossed a line.
Yeah,
Um, I just don't like it just doesn't work for me. I think that you either learn nothing or you learn something. And I think to learn something and for it to be so disingenuous just feels like a cop out.
yeah.
Like it's sort of the like I don't know if you've ever watched The League or Seinfeld or well you've watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But these people are like generally I mean they're funny and interesting people, but they are unredeemable bastards, all of them.
Oh yeah,
Like they're horrible, horrible, terrible people with no redemption arc because they never learn anything. They never
Yes.
learn from their mistakes. They are narcissistic, and that's the thing here is that that's the joke in these shows is that that's the the sort of reset in the episode, like the idea of the Simpsons where it's like, well, everything will be back together, back to
Yeah.
normal at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
That's the part that never changes about these shows, is that yes, the world continues and they remember the things that they've done, but they never change as people. They never grow. They never learn. And that is the thing in this, is that she is never growing, never learning, and yet it's just like, oh, it's not funny. Like that's the thing is are you trying to play it for laughs? What are we trying to do here? It just
Yeah.
feels, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good.
No, no, it's oof, it is hard. Anyway,
Yeah,
we should probably move on
last
to
one.
the final episode of the
Yeah,
Melancholy of Haruhi Suzmiya so far.
I think there's like the thing about this episode is there's not like a super lot actually happens. It's very focused on like a few key scenes with larger conversations. So like there's not like a lot of cuts to different places. It's mostly, if I remember rightly, the episode sort of kicks off. They've got the cat now, and
Mm.
they sort of finish the filming
Yeah,
where Haruhi seemingly maybe has learned something by she's like being very positive about people and saying it's like you're all doing so well, and it's like okay, maybe there is like a little bit of growth, but
yeah.
yeah, again, just feels
Taking
ends
suggestions on.
justify the means.
She's also taking suggestions
I
on.
don't know.
Because I believe Keon
Yeah,
suggested like the last seasons and stuff like that.
yeah, that's right. He makes suggestions, and she's like, "Yeah, you know what? We could maybe do that." And I think that's even worse. Is like, it's like, oh no, she has changed. She just won't say she's sorry
Yeah.
for being terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That just doesn't feel good. But yeah, you're right. She's obviously listening more and trying to be more positive with people, and like Mikuru as well. She's being less controlling and manipulative, and more not attentive as such, but just focused on helping rather than bullying into doing something.
Yeah. Is it?
Um,
And there's that subplot of not trusting Koizumi. And then,
yeah, that continues.
yeah, and then Koizumi comes and talks to Kyon about it, saying, oh, yeah, so technically we're kind of had like bloody battles for a long time type thing. Or something. I don't know how bloody the battles have been, like if it's all out wars and shit, but um, it's it's they're at odds. They both have different views in the world and how Haruhi Suzumiya fits into the picture, and it's kind of weird just
Yeah,
to drop that in at that point. I feel it's like the last episode.
it seems. Yeah, it does seem weird to, because the thing is what we will note though is that this is the last episode in broadcast order, but not in chronological order.
Yeah,
There's no love lost between any of these characters, despite this conversation having taken place, and despite that knowledge bomb of it's like, oh no, like all our groups hate each other.
yeah,
Like we're talking and communicating, but we don't like each other, and we don't like each other because we fucking murdered all of each other. We killed.
yeah. Oh, I huh. All those
Horde.
stuff. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3. Right. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's right.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Where were we?
We were talking about Koizumi and the difficulties between the groups.
The bloody battles.
And there's more groups than what we know of, well, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh,
It seems like a very odd thing to mention this late on.
yeah, it's weird. It's like even though in chronological order, it's like four episodes left in the last season, last of that season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems kind of weird, like plot twist. And then like we said, like those episodes don't seem to touch on it ever again.
It's honestly never mentioned again.
Yeah.
Because of course this is the first time we're hearing about it.
Yeah. And then another weird shit goes down in this episode too.
What about?
So basically the arts festival is starting up. They're just preparing it like the night before, and they're finishing up all the filming. And then he's walking through the corridor, and then there's like a couple of like medieval knights appear, talking about some random quest.
We need to find the big orb, the shiny orb.
Yeah, and it's like what hell? What's going on here? And he's like, who are they? Type thing.
I assumed they were students to start with.
Yeah,
I assumed.
you assumed they were, but they were like
and then,
pretty manly.
That's because, of course, he's been up all night editing the film with Haruhi.
Oh no, I think that's the day before.
Has that happened already?
Yeah, no. So he's walking through the corridor the day before. They're just finishing up
the day
filming,
before.
I think.
Okay.
And then they're doing an all nighter, to do the video edit
to get shit done.
Which.
And he wakes up having fallen asleep at the keyboard as she fell asleep as well.
Yeah.
And she's like, "How does it look?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. I didn't do much. Like, I fell asleep." And then he wakes up and the film's edited anyway.
Yeah. And he's like, "What? Who the hell's done that?"
Yeah.
Looks great.
It's like it could. Yeah, he's like, it could be Nagato, it could be Koizumi. It's not likely to be Miss Asahino.
Yeah. Or it could be some other person that we haven't introduced yet. Dum Dum Dum.
Yeah.
Dropping some.
What the fuck?
Dropping some more random crap into it.
It's just, oh my god.
I don't know. I mean, I get cliffhangers and shit in like end of like seasons, and sometimes they don't make a new season.
If you need to go back to it though.
Yeah. Well,
maybe the movie will. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, there's a few things. I mean, was it? It was like a movie that blatantly had a cliffhanger for like a sequel, but never happened. I mean, all right, Green Lantern. There's one. Great.
I can't believe that's the pull you made. It's like, what's a movie that didn't get? Oh yeah, Green Lantern. That's
that's
the one. You're right though.
Yeah, Italian Job, the original, the one with Michael Caine in it, where it just ends with them with the bus dangling off the cliff.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never watched the Italian Job.
What? It's only a bloody.
I've watched the shitty Mark Wahlberg and Ed Norton one.
That is just terrible. That is not the right one.
It really is.
It's watch the original, man. Watch the original.
A great thing about that is the trailer for I think it's 2003's Italian Job has a scene in it where Ed Norton's character says, "What happened to my gold?" And it's like, did he say that? It's like, there's no gold in this film. What are they? What's he talking about? And it turns out, yeah, it's like they just edited in that. They like added that in an ADR, like in lines to get squished lines together for the trailer. It's just a nothing statement.
Nothing line. Oh man.
Amazing.
It's just
amazing.
Get people in. yeah, I don't know. The original Italian job was pretty good. I liked it.
So yeah, but going back to this, they then, after they've finished editing everything, go and watch it as a group and agree that it's good work.
Yeah.
And they're satisfied.
Oh. We kind of we glossed over the points of where we're had to try and convince Harry, like from episode 3 onwards, that it's all just a dream, so everything returns back to normal.
I forgot. Is like there is one story point that allows you to make sure that everything doesn't just works out. It was a dream. That was the suggestion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a dream.
Yeah. So yeah, I suppose it doesn't really come up, I think, until now. To be honest, it's sort of I don't think much more is said of it beyond the original conception of the idea until now, and that's, I think, what is it? It's Kyon convinces Haruhi to do an outro over the credits, like a vocalized outro, to explain that it's none of it's real, it's all fake.
Yeah.
People you might recognize. It's a coincidence, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got to say it twice. She's so energetic the first time, and the second time she's just like downtrodden, and she's got to say it twice.
I must admit, I do really like the fact she's like, say it again, twice. I have to say this twice, and then yeah, it's just like great that they didn't even bother to, like, they went to all the effort of editing the rest of it, or not editing the rest of it, as it were, but left that in.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, also should also mention the talk that Koizumi has to make the talk about the groups and stuff.
Yeah.
It suggests that Mikuru's group has sent Mikuru back basically to get Harry onto their side by making you go again seduced, essentially. And I can see that.
Yeah, they basically for some reason want Kyon as a time traveler.
Yeah, or want Kyon to be basically allied with their group at least, because he's the only one who can provide reason to Haruhi.
Yeah.
Harry, you're a wizard.
So it's really weird as I've been listening to the pronunciations and I realize I've been saying a lot of them wrong and continue to do so, but won't correct at this point. It's too late. But it's not Haruhi, it's Haruhi, and I keep saying it either way, and it's not really Koizumi, it's Koizumi.
Oh.
And it's not Mikuru, it's Mikuru. So basically, every name I could get wrong, I've got wrong.
That's right. I get them wrong all the time. I mean, Tamagotchi. I can't remember the name. It sounds like Tamagotchi.
Taniguchi, yeah.
Oh.
No. His name could be, I don't know, Carl's Ice Lens.
Paul.
Or
or
Swiss Precision.
Boss. Because he sounds like a fashion Gucci.
I don't know how there's just a very strangled route back to that name somehow, and I don't even want to follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of you're right. Like it's clear that they sort of want him aligned with them.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem overly worried about that, which I think is interesting as well.
Oh, he's well and truly suckered. It's been his interest. He's we did mention it, but yeah, but how he's saved those pictures from the scandal or whatever it was way back in season 1 of Mikuru on a folder in the desktop.
Yep.
I've seen shots with the camera of like, yep, that's definitely Mikuru. Because of the star on her breast, and then
yep, that's right.
Haruhi. is basically gets upset. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, she also does some mind reading in this thing. It's like, what? You read my mind?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Some weird shit.
And she also is like, "What are you doing?" Like, and he's like staring at Mikuru, and she's like, "What are you thinking?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh no, 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 uh, no, sorry about
Yeah.
that."
So we get pissed. So
It's
yeah.
there's a lot of weird, arbitrary stuff in this. For not like I say, there's not a lot of different scenes in this. It's just there's a lot of weird things dropped in there, and I
Yeah.
think that's the thing is then they show the movie, it gets like as we say, and it gets through that spiel at the end of it, and then from what I remember, it kind of cuts to this scene of Haruhi and Kyon in the cafe.
Yeah, they're alone in the cafe. Eventually. Oh, we should also mention that they do some more mention of these fancy guys appearing. Um, and then
Yes, I haven't seen them
yeah,
recently.
don't see them. They didn't seem to be part of any club, but they seem to have disappeared now. Type thing. It's like- and everything's turned back to normal. The cat stopped talking, and pretty much everything's back to normal. How Mikuru doesn't fire lasers from her eyes, and
Yep,
weather's returned to normal. Basically, everything's happy. It's all done, and then they go to the cafe.
all because of the mantra.
Yeah, it's uh,
So did you? So that's the thing is that I did a bit of reading up on this, and it says that it's a flashback.
flashback.
The bit at the end. I thought I'd missed that because I didn't think that.
Oh, flashback. Uh,
Because the art festival is supposed to take place in the latter half of the year, right?
yeah. So,
It says I looking at the Wikipedia page earlier. I've got it up here, and it says in a flashback to May, Kyon tells Haruhi the truth about the other club members.
I don't.
But I do not remember it being a flashback.
I think it's maybe a flashback in the sense that it might be something that's not been recorded before. It's not been a thing that's been mentioned.
Oh, I mean that's. I mean, I'm fine. I just didn't remember it saying. Like
Me.
I guess there was nothing to date the conversation.
No. No, there's definitely not.
Like for me to know it's a flashback. There was nothing for me to understand. It's like, oh, now we're talking about past them. But I think that maybe makes more sense. Where it's like it's if it's in May, it's not that long after they became friends,
Yeah.
and they
Form,
sort
form the
of
group.
initially got.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is that because she basically Kyon is like, are you still interested in ghost? What is it? Aliens, espers, and time
Yeah.
travelers? And she's like, yeah. So, and he's like, well, they're maybe much closer to you than you think.
And she,
And she's like, well, for them to be closer to me than you, it would have to be our friends. And then he's like, yep, that's it. She's like, nah, fuck off. Don't believe you.
yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, she's the time traveler. She's the alien, uh, computer thing, and guy's the Esper. It's like, oh, what you take me for? Type thing.
But here's the thought,
Mhm.
though, right? If that is a flashback to me,
Yeah.
and that is a flashback to before they all become more of a group
Uh huh.
and we understand their uniqueness,
Yeah.
does that mean that he was joking about it, but in joking about it, caused it to happen?
Um. No, because
No?
they all kind of introduced themselves as those things within like the days.
The third episode.
Yeah.
The third episode. But that's not to say that. I don't know if it was days. I think there's more time going on here because, like, if you look at part three, Part 3 takes place. Where is it? Fuck. Where is it? Why have I missed 2 parts? Part 4. Part 3. Or is it the very end of episode 2?
Maybe as an episode 2.
Yeah.
So when are they taking place though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because if I remember correctly, like the whole thing starts in like April-ish.
All right.
So like there's a good month
Yeah.
of unaccounted for time.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the implication there is that yes, she does those things, but actually the real damage of it is caused by the introduction of things that need the people that need to control her.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's you can look at it in multiple different ways, I suppose.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It's just
I don't know. It was knowing it was a flashback now. If it definitely is a flashback, I think that maybe makes more sense. I did not take that from it when I was watching it, so
no.
I thought it was a bit of a weak sauce ending. But now I think that if we look at it as a flashback, that maybe is more interesting.
Maybe. Yeah. In a flashback to May, Cohen tells Harry the truth about the other club members, but she doesn't
Yep.
believe him.
That's definitely more interesting than it just being a random conversation after the fact of all of that. Although the way he speaks about it is maybe what dated it for me, because he says, "Are you still interested in these things?" I suppose he could be saying that after a few weeks,
Yeah.
but it would seem more likely to me that that would be what you would say after all of this time has passed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It didn't. You don't really get a date. You get a date of when they were aired.
Yeah, some of them are, I think in the show it mentions sort of more the time scale and things like that because it talks about it moving into the summer holiday and that being sort of July August. So then that's your endless eight, and then before that is your April May June
Mm-hmm.
build up to the end of the school year, and
Yeah. Uh,
then of course the arts festival we know is sort of towards the end of it, and then at the middle of the end of the year, and then we know that the last chronological episode, um, Someday in the Rain, takes place in December.
yeah. End of the year. Yeah. Uh, I don't know, man. If you really want to look into it a bit more, you should and come up with your theories on the whole thing.
Maybe we'll do a little bonus episode that is sort of a theory thing if we find that there might be some interest in that.
Maybe, man.
How do you rate this one then?
I think it's weird. It throws in a lot of crap that kind of like goes, huh? Right now, and then doesn't answer any of that crap. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, these are things, these are things that people do, these organizations are all arguing each other's, and Naito basically confirms and doesn't confirm any of that. So yeah, they can technically tell the truth, but you don't have any basis to verify that it is truth. Just like you can't verify what I'm saying is true. It's like, all right, that's helpful, Naruto.
Yeah, great. Appreciate the wisdom there. It's like, yeah, they could be telling you anything. It's like, no, I know that.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. But it's certainly I don't know. I don't know if as a separate episode, I think I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's decent enough. for a final episode. It kind of ties up like the whole saga, adds some questions,
Yeah.
and just like this one random flashback that confused the crap out of me because I didn't realize it was a flashback.
Yeah. I'll go with the 6.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely much better than the previous episode.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it probably is on par with like the other peak of it, which is episode 3. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I think that's us then.
yeah, that
We've done it.
we watched the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzmiya. All
This was your suggestion.
I only wanted to watch the Endless Eight, and there was a reason for that.
Wouldn't have worked without it. Wouldn't have worked without it.
No,
We needed to watch all of it. We needed to understand.
do you understand?
No, but we needed to watch. It's like I think when you mentioned to me like it's like that it's that 8-part saga that's the problem. I think generally the second season is far weaker overall. Like it's not good by comparison to the first, which I think is much stronger. Both in terms of storylines and character building and things like that. I just think is just far superior.
Yeah.
That being said,
Endless Eight doesn't help.
I feel like it doesn't. But I think you were right. Like when you said it's like let's do this because I think sort of in summary, a very brief one. This is a good anime. Like I like the dynamic and I liked the dynamic. I feel it stepped away from what I enjoyed about it, which I think is exactly where you said we would be basically is like it's good and then it's not.
Yeah, I believe it. From by all the other reviews, it's kind of like, yeah, second season, Endless Eight killed it, and then I think with the multiple repeats of the same episode, some fans didn't continue and stuff, and then it kind of peaked again. Well, it got a bit better with like the last 5 episodes, but still.
But it never reached. It never reached like if you look at our scores.
Mm-hmm.
From the first season versus the second, they're just not comparable. Like it's pretty high.
Yeah.
They're pretty high up. Like I say, like in the first season, I gave an episode a 10. You gave an episode a 9. 8s and 7s are quite prominent.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely obvious that the second season drops the ball. It's just not what it needed to be, and particularly after a 4-year wait or whatever in between seasons. 2-year wait. Sorry.
No.
Oh no. Sorry.
3 or 4.
3-year wait. 3-year wait. After that long a wait, I think I'd be pretty pissed off if that was what I was presented with. At the time.
Yeah.
It would have annoyed me.
Because everyone's super excited. Oh yeah, it's coming back. It's going to be great. And then it's like, oh no, wait. What? Endless Eight? You made it 8 episodes. What? You crazy? What you did?
Yeah, like I say, I think when we talked about it at length, is I really think what they were trying to achieve with Endless Eight was something special. Like I think the dedication to what they were doing was very impressive, but I think it just needed more deviation and more narrative to stray away from repetition. And on top of that, like we talked about, it's just the end is just utter garbage. It's just not. It is not a payoff of any sort.
No,
it is 100% worthless as a payoff.
What am I going to do? Oh, I'll need to say no. I need to do my homework. He needs to do his homework. Let's do homework day tomorrow. And then
yep, we're done. Good. And
yeah,
I appreciate that. I think the difficulty is that because it sets itself up for failure, because what you have is a situation where you're watching a loop and a loop and a loop and a loop, and you're watching time and time again attempt and failure, attempt and failure, attempt and failure. And then for that to just be the thing you then watch, I suppose what you don't understand is how many attempts were there in between that before it led to that. Like that's the bit you don't really appreciate. But because it shows it so sharply, after that, you just assume it's like, so what? You just all of a sudden decided to do your homework and we're all good. It's like one, yeah, okay, so it's an underinflated value
Mm.
of how long it probably actually took to get that. I think it would have been much better if like it. I think it's okay for there to be a mundanity to it of like it was really just this all the time. If you are more focused on that point where he realizes that he's the change, he can make the change,
Mm.
but he just needs to make the right change. So like I think it's okay to make it that way, but they didn't message that in that way. So I can only assume that's a problem. But second to that, it's just generally like you've taken people through a difficult time of 8 episodes, and then just to end it that way is just not great. And like similarly, like I think this 5-parter ended better than that, but not much better. Like it's not. I'm not. I'm not riveted.
No,
Um,
but
it's not an absolute downer, but
it's
it's not piquing my interest. Like I'm not. Holy shit! I can't wait to the next thing. It's more just how annoying that you're bringing this up. Like you're just dumping exposition on me, and like arbitrarily. Like I get the idea of like the weird Viking type people randomly appearing, being like a quick funny joke, but I think they make a little too much of that. I think almost if it was more ignored, it would be more of a. It's like, is this part of this? Is this just a weird thing that was happening in the background? Instead, it kind of gets referenced in a way where it's like, oh, okay, I guess like you were worried that we might not get it, and then that's worthless. But
yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I'm just
they appear.
I am left.
I only I only ever noticed them once where they actually did mention them walking through and they had like a line. But I didn't see if they were actually appear in any other scenes randomly.
And that's the thing is like I can't remember if they were in like Live Alive or is it that one? Yeah, like Live Alive or the Adventures of Mikuru Asahina, like those two episodes that revolve around sort of the art festival and the that kind of
Yeah.
time. It would be interesting to go back and maybe see if they were visible in there. Sort of a Gravity Falls thing. They have a character in that who's a time traveler called Blendon Blenson
Yes.
or Blendon Blendon. Have you watched it?
Yeah, yeah. Aye. And he
Like if you do go back, he is legitimately in episodes before he was in it. He was introduced.
yeah.
Like the bits they show him going back to in the episode where he's introduced, he's actually there. They're just re-showing the material. It's incredibly well done. Like, but I think that's an exercise in how to do something like that,
Yeah. I mean that's
and that's a major plot point though, versus like a throwaway gag.
yeah.
It's like is it Community? I think it's Community that did the thing where they said Beetlejuice 3 times over like 3 or 4 seasons,
Maybe, yeah.
and then in the background someone walks by in a black and white pinstripe suit. It's like it's the exceptionally long game payoff for just a really nothing joke.
Yeah. Well they do that in that show, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I like I say, I'm left conflicted because I feel like I I like the characters to a degree until I hated some of them.
Mm.
I liked the written scenarios, and I liked a lot of the intrigue around the different types of characters and like the espers, the time travelers, the thought entities. Like
Yeah.
that's all pretty fascinating. And I think maybe the thing that annoys me more, and I know we've spoken about Gurren Lagann on plenty of occasions,
Mm.
but there wasn't that sense of escalation
No, but then Gurren Lagann's
that I
special
think
in
is
that.
quite common. No, I think that's no, that's a very special kind of escalation. But I suppose it's the difference is though is in anime escalation like that is quite common,
Oh yeah.
at least from my perspective of like that real big step up and step up and step up, and it's always bigger, always grander until it's like can't do more. In Gurren Lagann's case, it's absurd. Like there's there is no comparison to its absurdity in that.
Yeah.
But there's none of that in Haruhi. It never escalates. Instead, it middles around the concept and never sort of like it escalates a little bit in those occasions where you like you see Koizumi going into action and like fighting against the giant things
Yeah,
in the whatever space,
close space,
ender space,
close space.
close
Yeah,
space, and like so that is a thing where you're watching. It's like, oh, I can see maybe where all of a sudden I think this show is going to step up and
uh,
live up here
yeah.
instead of being down here, but it never ever remains there,
No,
and because it never remains there, it never goes any further than there.
I mean, I suppose that's kind of part of the writing in this because it's all about to try and make sure Huri doesn't realize there's a power and keeps them under wraps and nothing extreme happens. So, because it's all doing that, it kind of, they kind of keep it mid tier. They'll let it go high sometimes. They got random stuff happening, like
Yeah,
the ones that we've just been talking about. It's where she
yeah,
goes into like a fictional. She starts making things fictional, where like people do have laser eye beams, and
yeah. Like
other
it dips out.
other things can get thrown from her as well, like daggers and shit. I think was part of like that last
Yeah,
episode where she starts throwing daggers and stuff at them.
but they kind of brush that off.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, then she started throwing some shit. But I think like that's the thing is that I think it's okay if that's where you want to middle, if you have a ceiling to your concept. But to throw in stuff like that introduces a new ceiling and then to leave it unexplored completely is frustrating for me as a person who's like, I'm kind of interested in this world you've built, and these concepts are pretty cool. I have to ask and have to wonder, I suppose, if those concepts are explored more in the manga.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Certainly, I was just looking at these things online here. So I think the last, well, fourth and last chapter was released in November 2012, issue of October 18th, 2012, final issue of Ultimate Ace. The chapters are compiled in the ninth volume of the Melancholy of Suzumiya Huri-chan. Um,
I mean,
there's also a disappearance of Nagato
if
Yuki-chan, which is a manga.
okay,
Uh,
I don't know. Like I'd probably if I didn't have to buy all the books individually at a tenner, and I could get like a more compilation
mm,
version, I'd probably do that. I'm like kind of doing a like I not to like go totally off piste or anything like that. I watched Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix,
yeah.
and it got cancelled. And it turns out, there's comics that's based on a comic book. I wasn't actually aware of that when I started watching it. So I was like, shit, I actually want to know more about that. So I ended up buying the books.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I don't know. I watched it myself. Might be 12 volumes of the Melancholy's Suzumiya Haruhi-chan, as it's known as. Uh, Original run between the 26th of July 2007 and 26th of December 2018, apparently.
Yep.
It's a long running manga, like.
Fair enough.
Well,
I may have to. I may buy the first book and start reading it at some point. I think that's the thing. Is like I like I say, I find the world interesting enough that I think it would be interesting to know more. It's a shame that we've ended that the way it does. Maybe in the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, more is answered and more is known. I don't know. That movie is 2 hours 43 minutes long, so plenty of runtime
yeah,
to go over stuff.
that is a hell of a runtime. So I will be probably talking. We'll talk about that next time on Who's That Anime.
Yeah, we should we give a little teaser for sort of like we're up to? We're gonna,
Yeah,
as we said before, we've finished this up now, so we're gonna watch the movie just to be completists about
Mhm.
Haruhi Suzumiya
Oh,
to make sure that we've kind of seen all there is to see,
mhm.
at the very least, from the animated perspective.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a little palette cleanser week. I'm not sure what we're going to do for that yet. I think we have a couple of ideas, though, if I remember rightly.
I got one.
Yeah.
It'll drive you
And
insane.
do you want to announce what our next series will be?
Yeah. So I believe we're going to do Serial Experiments Lane. Is that the one?
Yep,
That's
that's the one.
That is another thought-provoking anime. I believe it has a pretty good cult following. Weird animation style. It's not like your standard anime
Yep.
style, which is kind of cool. It's basically about a girl who thinks she's an AI construct embodied into a little girl.
She's part of the internet.
Yeah,
She's one with the data structures of the world.
she's meant to be. Yeah,
She's Nagato.
she's pretty much not. It's pretty much the story of Nagato and how she came to be. No.
Uh,
It's
But I it has been almost 20 years since I watched it last, so I'm looking forward to watching it again.
yeah. I watched it a few years back. I think that's when I finally watched it all. When I say
It's genuinely I absolutely loved it. Like I think it's one of those things that it's just such a I know like we started this off with trying to watch like the kind of worst we have to offer, but I think like there's something to be said about being able to be sort of resolutely positive on things as well. And like this is a show that I think I could I really there's so much to talk about. There's a lot of concepts and great characterization and wonderful plot. The animation's gorgeous and the uh the theme tune's baller as fuck. It's all good.
mm,
It's all good.
tensions in English too.
Yeah, it is. It's by a band called Boa.
See, baller as fuck, baller, baller as fuck.
Yeah, this is so close, so close. Um, so yeah, I think that's
Mhm,
us. In closing, as you know, we do this in podcast form.
mhm,
Um, we're available where good podcasts are available. You can find us at anchor.fm/ who's that anime.
mhm.
We will probably be releasing a video archive of these at some point. If we do, those will be on YouTube. But when we do have that, we will share that on our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/who's that anime. We use that to share when new episodes go live, some anime memes, and as I said, any other basic announcements and things. Colin plays video games sometimes on Twitch on a Monday evening. That's twitch.tv/couchfuel.
Yep.
There's a good archive of those right now on YouTube. You can find those by searching for Couch Fuel.
Yeah.
If you're interested in horror more specifically, that tends to be what I stream, and that's at twitch.tv/Hail Payman. Again, there's an archive of that kind of stuff on YouTube under the channel of the same name. As always, we don't have any ads in this. We don't expect anything for it, but we'd love to build a bit of a following around this to talk to people about anime. We have a lot of thoughts and opinions that are either right or wrong,
Mostly
and
wrong.
we mostly wrong probably. But it would be cool to maybe tell a friend if you listen to this that they might want to listen to, and if you want to leave us a review, you can do that anywhere as far as I'm aware. On certain podcast app, that's maybe not possible, but uh, any review you want, constructive criticism, always welcome, but also 5 stars, very welcome, depending on how much you either like or love this show.
Give us 5 stars. You hate it.
And I think that is, yeah. I mean, there's that too. And I think that's the business.
Yeah, I think we've done the business. Yeah. So next thing we'll be talking about is the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
I'm gonna have to do a new Twitch frame.
Oh, I know. Got to update that picture, man. Get Koizumi in the picture.
Yeah, I should probably do that, considering we've now gone the entire series without adding him to it,
Yeah.
despite him being a major character.
Yeah.
My bad.
I was like, where's this other guy? And you're like, he looks like.
To be fair, he wasn't properly introduced until episode 3 and 4. So
Yeah, he was in the first episode.
He was, but we didn't know who he was.
Because that was the movie that we've just been talking about that they made in this.
Yep. It's all gone full circle, Colin.
It has. I was just thinking it right there. It's like the movie was the first thing that we looked at, and then yeah. Anyway,
No, this.
that's been Who's Your Anime, with your host Steve and Colin.
Who's your anime?
Who's Your Anime? Come to Who's Your Anime.
No.
Come to anime.
We'll save that shit for. Man, we should call it that.
It is after midnight now. Right.
Shit, so it is.
Yeah.
I still have work to do. Fuck.
All right. Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye.
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 Good work today. I'll go buy you some cat food later. Or maybe some dried sardines.
Either one's okay with me.
Hey Nagato, is that you just now? I was actually talking to the cat.
Well, you asked me a question, didn't you? That's why I answered. Did I say something wrong, or were you speaking to someone else?
Japanese bobtail. Quite the surprise, isn't it?
That's probably the last thing you should be surprised by.
That's amazing. I never thought I'd see a talking cat.
I don't understand why everyone here is so surprised that I'm talking.
He's a mutant cat. No, a cat monster.
But looking at it from your perspective, I can see how the sounds I'm making might seem like human speech to you people. And if that's the case, how can you be sure that the sounds coming out of me mean the same as the words you think I'm saying? It might be gibberish, you know?
But the fact that you're answering my questions is proof you understand what I'm saying.
Look, it's possible that these sounds only happen to seem like answers to your questions. Just because I reply to you doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about.
So basically what you're saying is that even if two people are talking, it doesn't mean they're actually having a conversation.
You know, that's true. Even if two people are in a conversation and believe they understand each other, there's no guarantee they're truly expressing the ideas behind the words they're using.
He's right. People can say one thing and mean another.
Oh, shut up.
The cat does bring up a good point, though, doesn't he?
I'm sorry, but do you think you could stop talking too?